As a young girl growing up there in Bendigo, was there a defining moment where it dawned on you that you wanted to be an entertainer?
Uh, I discovered that when my mum and dad got their first television in 1956, and I knew that I was going to be a part of television, but I didn't know what it was going to be. You know, I could have been the weather girl, or I could have, did commercials or something. But I knew at the age of 6 that I was going to be a part of that little magic box. And little did I know that coming up to my 12th birthday, my uncle, who was a singer, and he compared this dance up here called Carlos and Rosita up here in Bendigo, and he said, "Okay, I know how much you like singing around the house. My gift for you is learn 3 songs, and you can get up and sing with my band on Saturday night." And so I learnt 3 songs easily, and got up there on a Saturday night. The manager came up after and asked me if I could do that every Saturday night, which I did until the rock band, so-called. It was just a pop, covers band at the YMCA, asked me to join them. And so that was it until I headed on down to Melbourne.
Right, so you were hooked at a very young age, yeah.
Well, yeah, and hooked, I don't know. It wasn't the business that excited me. I didn't even know how all that stuff worked. It's just that people found me, I don't know how that really happened, but thank God my uncle spotted it at that early age, turning 12. I mean, my kids certainly weren't allowed to go home. Mind you, my mum and dad were sitting in their ute, downstairs at the back of the building, with the dog in the back, and they waited for me, and every single Saturday night. And of course, my sister Glenys, she replaced me because the band, the Lonely Ones, they were called at the first gig. They thought, well, if she can sing, maybe her sister can sing, because Glenys used to come along to a couple of the rehearsals and stuff, and so she replaced me there. So Bendigo people just couldn't get away from us, because my uncle was working in Castlemaine at St Mary's there, where they used to run a dance every Saturday night. So, and then at the same time, my brother Des, he was touring Australia with Slim Dusty drumming.
Oh wow!
So it was like, yeah, I guess so, but it was not a plan. It was just something that was inside of me. Call it destiny, call it whatever. Being in the right place at the right time, or with the right uncle, it wouldn't have happened. But yeah, 54 years later, nearly 55 years later, it's a career that's been really very, very, very good to me. And in lots of different areas, because to survive in this business, John, you've got to be able to do lots of stuff. I didn't know I could do acting. I didn't know I could do straight drama on television, acting roles. I thought I was just going to be a singer. In fact, I thought going into Godspell was going to ruin my singing career, because it was like I'd already recorded Day by Day, and then they asked me to go straight in and rehearse for this musical in the theatre, and I'm going, I don't think so. No, I don't think I'll be doing that, because then I won't be able to sing. Oh, God, that's how naive I was, Oh, yeah.
Your days in the Laurie Allen Review must have been a great learning experience in terms of your development as an artist.
Look, you know what? After the 2 bands, in Bendigo, my mum and dad put me on a train, and I met this lady who I'd never ever met before at the station, and she took me, and her daughter Michelle Kennedy was rehearsing a new band, a new trio, like a white version of the Supremes, and I really didn't like that much at all. But at the same time, she was going out with the bass player who was rehearsing in a new band with Laurie. And so Michelle and I just sort of tag along, go along and listen. And we found ourselves doing a vocal backing and stuff in Laurie's lounge room. And he says, well, you're not getting any work doing the creations thing. Why don't you join us? So we did. And I tell you what, John, Laurie Allen was my biggest influence in music. He unlocked my heart. I knew there was something more because I'd already been doing it now by 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And so I was just thinking, doing always something there to remind me, and wishing and hoping, and they're good songs, but there's just something. And he was the one that literally locked me in a room one day and said, listen to a few of these songs. Well, Laurie had albums, LPs from the floor to the ceiling, and I don't know, 3 or 4 deep. So it was just he was my biggest influence, and I thank God again, between my uncle for unlocking the door into this business, and then Laurie Allen unlocking my soul and finally feeling and hearing the stuff that I absolutely love doing, soul music, blues music, just I love him forever for that. Yeah.
You mentioned your sister Glenys, and she was with you in the Laurie Allen Review, and she also went on to pursue a solo career of her own, but gave it away eventually. Did she suffer a bit from being compared to you?
Probably, yeah. Glenys had a fantastic career. She entertained the troops in Vietnam for about 9 months. She was very brave. I don't think I could have done that one. But yes, she quit too early. She had her 3 boys, and was very, very happy with married life and doing the domestics. I at the same time I had my 3, but it was like my job, and I took the kids on the long tours during school, for the school holidays. But you just adjust your lifestyle, That was it, Anything longer than 2 nights, the kids came with me, and it was great. It was really fabulous, which is really it's a big reason why they like to keep on travelling. Now, school holidays, no. Well, gosh, Casey now is 38. My youngest is 28, and Jessica is 35 in the centre there, and she lives over in America, and she's just made me a grandmother for the first time.
I heard that. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, she's now 3.5 months old now, so yeah, I haven't met her yet, obviously. I just don't do long flights anymore. I can't stand them.
Yeah.
The longest flight I do is to Melbourne to Fiji, where I basically live, and that's about as long as I need to be up in the air. Don't like it. Never have.
Now, you couldn't have started your solo career any better. Your version of the Leon Russell song Superstar, I feel it's the definitive version of the song. Yeah.
Oh, what a song.
Do you remember where you first heard it?
The Joe Cocker Mad Dogs and Englishmen album. I love that band.
Yeah.
And anything they did. And then when I finished with a band in on the Gold Coast, Ian Saxon and the Sound, I was up there for a year or so after the Laurie Allen Review. Came down to Melbourne, had met Danny Finley, my manager, or my first husband really, but still my best friend, and I got rid of him as my husband and kept him on as my manager. No, he's my best friend, mate. He's just the best man. And they were talking about doing some recording with me. I'm thinking, right, okay, well, I've done a bit with the Laurie Allen Review. I think I know the system. And then what do you want to do? And I said, well, there is one song that I absolutely love. Rita Coolidge did it on the Mad Dogs Englishmen album, Superstar. And so we went into the studio. Ian Meldrum, or Molly, was called in to make it the sound that it is. And then, of course, he went on to do Day by Day with me, which was an absolute nightmare because it went on for 3 weeks. I mean, come on. That was the longest recording session ever. The producers actually thought that I was recording an album. But it was only a single. And the B-side, By My Side from Godspell, that only took 20 minutes, just me and the guitarist. So, look, it's been a fabulous up and down hill, around valley, up that road, down that road, in that plane, on that boat, whatever. But it's just been... It has been fun. Most of it has been fun, and it's even more fun now, John, because I don't do it unless unless I really want to do it. You know, like...
Yeah, so it's a quality...
So many places... Oh, look, John, I've worked places in the last few years that don't even have a PA. They don't even have a spotlight. You know, they're just not... No stage. Well, I don't mind working on the floor, but, you know, like, this just... It's... the business has changed really, really badly. I thought that it would have got a little bit more mature and sort of work more for us. Sometimes there's no dressing room. You've got to get changed in your car or in the toilet that you know, people are coming in and lining up to go to the toilet and you're in there trying to do your makeup and get dressed. So, you know, stars in this country, no, they don't really know how to do it. They don't know how to treat us, I'm afraid. And I don't like to use that word with me, star, because I just do my job. Like, you know, I've got my favourite butcher, I've got my favourite fruit shop, and I think they are all stars in their own right too.
Yeah.
But this one, no, Australia just seems hell-bent on anything out of America, you know, England, anywhere else, but we just get treated so badly. And maybe because, you know, it's quick stardom in this country too. It's one-hit wonder if you're lucky to get the hit with these so-called talent shows that are on telly. I mean, I just don't get them. I think they're just bad. They teach them bad habits. The boy, girl, band, whoever, oversing. They lose the melody because they're so busy doing all these aerobatic things with their voices, and they just burn out.
Yeah, it's all for 15 minutes of fame, basically.
That's about it. Yeah. And then of course they go into this depression because it didn't turn out the way they all said it was going to. Well, hello. Welcome to show business. You know, got to keep your feet on the ground. I'm just really happy that I'm relieved and happy to know that you know, that I started as a child and I grew with it. You know, I just grew up with it, watching all these incredible people come down from Sydney, and you know, then you go over and do a show and you sit there and watch the band or the singer. No matter what it was, I was always just sort of, without even knowing it, I was learning. Yeah, it's been a fabulous time. I've enjoyed every second of it, and don't understand how I'm still doing it. I don't understand it. Anyway.
I think talent might have something to do with that.
Well, I don't know. I just, well, you know, I still deliver because I love doing it. But as I said, it's only if I really want to do that job or do that tour, or, you know, I'm really enjoying doing the seniors tours. You know, they are fabulous because the people that come to the senior shows, generally around October, last year I did the October run that ran over 9 shows over 2 weeks, and that was all around Victoria. The year before, it was a week of it, and those people are the ones that brought Day by Day. They're the ones that brought Superstar, you know?
Yeah.
And they're all the ones. So it's exciting for me to finally see them, meet them, work with them, you know, and we have a ball together. And then, of course, there's the Go Show Gold Show. Those concerts are fabulous fun, just such a fun time, you know. Last year we actually went into Perth, and gosh, it's just fabulous. Yeah, I like doing them. I really do. The days of just going into a club and you know, just for one night only, I don't know. You know, by the time you get there, the band are great. I love my band. They're just so together, and they're working all the time with or without me. And recording with me and all that stuff. It's a funny business. It's a funny business, but I still do it. You know, only when I want to.
It's fair to say it's the quality of work you're looking for more so than a quantity these days.
Absolutely. Yeah. It has to be. It's got to be on the quality level, and all I mean by quality is a dressing room, a cup of tea. Yeah, you know, be nice, and stay out of my way. I don't hold back.
Yeah. You mentioned Danny briefly earlier. Have you ever pondered the path your career may have taken without him in your corner?
Oh, I get almost sick to think how it would have turned out. I would have been roped into some, maniac ego, so-called entrepreneur, and no, I wouldn't have had any communication skills with that sort of person at all. Danny knew me. He knew what I wanted to do. He knew the music that I loved. So he just created a situation for me, a career that's still, to this day, still managing my career. And he wants me to do a lot of things that I don't want to do. But by the time he's finished reasoning with me of what is going to be good about doing this, I've gotten into the idea of saying, oh, all right then, and going along and having an absolute ball. And then, what he predicted, what was going to be good about the situation does come off, and it's fabulous. It's just great. I mean, just recently I did Godspell, but it's a new production, but they just wanted me to come on at the end and just do my version of Day by Day.
Uh-huh.
Well, of course, you can't drag around a 120-piece St Paul's Cathedral choir with you, so it's the version that I do on stage. And it was just fantastic. We did 16 shows at the Arts Centre in Melbourne, and oh God, it was fun. I mean, it's a long night when you're sitting around waiting to go on to do one song, but the cast were just fantastic to work with. The band were just brilliant. Most of them from Sale. It was a good time, but I didn't want to do it. It was like turning around and going backwards. And, but then, Danny's reasoning with it all. I mean, yeah, okay then, yeah. Because I'm in Bendigo, driving backwards and forwards to Bendigo. So they were really good. And they put me up in accommodation, only a short walk to the theatre. So, when the conditions are set out nicely, then you're happy to go to work. Say any job.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, as long as everyone's going to be, civil to you, and the dressing room, and I was sharing a dressing room with all the other the girls in the show, but that's no hassle because I was in there most of the time by myself while they were all out on stage doing the play. So look, it's nice. It really is nice. Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to stop doing this. I just don't know. I don't see any reason to stop. When I can still do it.
You did go into a retirement phase there for a while, didn't you?
Well, no, it wasn't even a retirement. I left those assumptions to the journalists, and they usually go, mingle with any sort of thing. No, what I deliberately, I stopped doing it because I was sick of seeing me on television all the time. I was sick of hearing me on the radio. I was sick of reading about me, and I just thought, there's got to be other people out there that are hanging out to do this thing, So I just marked time for a while. And then when the gaps were not being filled, I just thought, well, come on, get into gear again, off we go again. And it was fresher. It was just, I did musicals. And yes, I wasn't making records because I was busy doing all these different Chicago and Boy from Oz with Hugh Jackman. I mean, and a movie, The Cup, the story of Damien Oliver and his tragic family. There were other things to be doing. So luckily I had a lot of hats that I could wear. And when I got tired of doing touring or recording or acting or musicals or whatever, I was able to just, Danny just was able to switch a button and make it happen. It's just, I don't know. It would be an interesting book to read. Very interesting.
Is there a degree of acting involved when singing and interpreting a song that gives you the skill that transfers across to acting on stage and screen?
I think memory is more to the point in my case. I've seen, people cry, whether it's a guy or a girl, whoever's performing, and they'll cry in exactly the same place, and I think, oh my God, how fake. How much of this song. No, for me, my records are very important to me. A lot of people have asked me, are you sick of doing Day by Day? Are you sick of doing Wind Beneath My Wings? A Dream I Dream? No. How can I be sick of doing them? Each record has got such an incredible memory for me, whether they were a hit or not. they all mean something very, very special to me. And that's how I still perform them, you know, and I change them around vocally every now and then, you know. If something else just comes into my thinking as I'm singing the song, and I'll take it there, or, you know, I won't do that lick, or, you know, just change it around. It's I want the people in the audience to be singing along with me, whether it's the ballad or an up song, and, you know, I want them not to think, oh, she's made a mistake, you know, because I've changed it that dramatically, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So, I like them to hear it the way it was. And, no, we don't have the big choir. We don't have all the tricks of Day by Day, but it's still such an amazing song. You know, same verse over and over and over again, but, oh, my God. For me, it's a powerful song, yeah.
And the legends are true, apparently, about Ian in the studio being very fastidious and detailed.
He's fastidious. He has no clue. He was the most unorganised person I'd ever worked with, and I still tell him to this very day. How on earth we ever got through any of those sessions, I just don't know. I don't know. But he just had a magic. He had the idea in his head, but he could never relay it. You know, even to the musicians, they'd be standing there saying, "But what do you mean? I don't get it." You know, oh, you know, it sort of goes, la 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 la, lovey. And then, oh, no, don't get it, don't understand it, no. But he would get there, he would get close enough to it in the end. Yeah. Oh, did he ever? Close enough to it. His idea, I mean. Yeah.
Another production...
Fabulous man. Great man.
Another production you were involved with back in the day was the stage production of the Who's Tommy at the My Music Bowl, which if you hunt around, you can find that on YouTube. Any memories of that?
I believe there is something on YouTube. I would say that you got to wait ages, you know, because we're all on the stage at the same time. There was no guest walk on, walk off, you know, walk on, do your song, go. We were all sitting around on these big mushroom type things. And that was nearly everybody that was alive in those days, you know, like, oh, God, look at the cast. There was one performance in Melbourne at the My Music Bowl.
Yeah.
And then we went to Sydney and did it all over again up there, and then that was it. That was really confusing. My Music Bowl was absolutely thousands and thousands of people there. Same with Sydney. So I don't know what the thing was with, you know, just having the one performance. But the whole cast, so terrific people, all of them. Billy Phillips, Doug Parkinson, Daryl Cotton, Daryl Braithwaite, oh my God, Wendy Saddington, Linda George. I mean, it's a huge, huge cast. And everyone was just having a great time. It was very, very, we were kind of hippie, you know, in our own little planet, all being cool, you know, everything's fine, man, all that sort of stuff. But the performance was quite exceptional because the songs just went on and on. It was just one long orchestral and choir performance. It was just amazing. How the hell we even remembered, when do I sing? When's my part? You know, but we rehearsed it nearly every day for 3 weeks, so I guess it just sort of sinks in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank goodness it was taped. It is a treat to watch if you can hunt it down.
Oh, it really is. It really is. Yeah, and everyone just sings so well on it because everything about it, you know, we were just treated just so well. And Keith Moon, the drummer from The Who, I mean, he was just amazing to work with because he had a split personality, for sure. He was the nicest guy, just by himself. He'd offer you, hey, mama. But everyone called me mama before I was a mother. And I did the one ironing people's shirts or, you know, sewing on a button here and there or whatever. But he was just gorgeous. And then as soon as a few people would walk into the dressing room, he'd start throwing the furniture around. But that was his personality, you know. Oh, larger than life. Oh, my God. But lovely guy. Again, a lovely guy, you know. Yeah. I've met some baddies in my time, I tell you, but I just avoid them and don't talk about them.
Fair enough.
the highlights are when you meet someone that you've heard everything bad about them, and they turn out to be absolutely, it's like black and white, like, you know, night and day. So they write what they want to write about people. It's just a bit of a shame, but anyway, that's their job, and I guess they got to do it.
Now, you black and white, you just gave me a great lead-in. If I could have chosen any Australian artist not generally known for doing blues that could come up with a belter of a blues album, it would have been you, and I'm so glad you did it with black and white.
Oh, great! I finally got my way.
Was that something you've been considering for a long time?
Oh, all my life, all my career. You know, as soon as Laurie Allen, as I was saying earlier, as soon as he unlocked my soul and you know, put the bloody key in the right socket, he was the one that, yes, this is what I want to do. This is the stuff. This is meaningful. These people are playing and singing from a soul, a place that I hadn't ever, you know, I knew something was missing from the singing thing, but that's exactly what it was. And over the years with all the recording, all bar the ones that I actually chose, the ones that we've been talking about, the record companies were just heavy doing, you know, anyone out of their own publishing company. You know, it was like, oh, God, these songs are boring. They're awful. Very square, you know. But yes, black and white, oh, my God, that was the only reason I recorded it. It had to be this way or no way. And I'm not being up myself, I'm not being arrogant, I'm not being anything. I just didn't see the point in doing something and recording, singing, just for the sake of doing it. So that's why there's been no records until last year. And to my surprise, I mean, the reaction was just sensational, you know, number one overnight almost on iTunes and the ARIA. I mean, that surprised me more than anything. That they even acknowledged, you know, a dinosaur in the business. Or what do they call us? The pioneers. Yeah. Oh, God, I can't stand that.
Well, the other
you know
heritage artist is the other term I hear a lot.
Oh, heritage. Oh, there's a new one. Okay, there, throw that on the stack. We'll handle it all. Because I tell you what, out there at the moment, Russell Morris, Joel Braithwaite, James Rain, Normie Rowe, oh, God, really, the Doug Parkinson, we're all still doing it. We're out there, we're doing it, we love it. It's no hammy show. What you saw back then in the 60s or 70s, you're still seeing now. We just look a bit different, but hell, so do they. So does the audience.
That's right.
Yeah.
So the blues direction is something you'd like to explore further, but maybe a potential new career direction?
No. It's never been, you know, a deliberate thing. It's just that, as I was saying, with Laurie directing me to the soul music, the blues music. If you listen to any of my singing on any of the records, there is that influence there.
Oh, yeah.
It just unlocked that side of me that I could be freer. I could drop off a note. I could, you know, without even thinking about it, I was doing what I've always done since when I was 16. Yeah, 16 when Laurie got me to listen to all that music and then started working with that band. No, it's not a... I've always sung the blues, but I in a blues fashion, I guess, but I didn't realise it had a tag. It just comes from me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not in a pigeonhole. I just do what I do. Call it blues, call it soulful, call it, as long as you don't call it pop. I'm not really keen on that one.
There is a centerpiece song on the album. It's a powerful song, Shut Up and Let Me Breathe, and in the context of your personal story, it takes on even a stronger significance. It's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful song. You kept that story bottled up for a long time. Has it been therapeutic getting it out there and at the same time being in a position to help raise awareness?
Well, that part is more important to me than purging my life story. You know, when we're all supposed to be so happy and everything's fabulous and all that stuff all the time, you know, as far as the public are aware, well, a lot of us are doing it tough. a lot of us did it tough, and so I got belted around a bit by my second husband. But that was all sort of short-lived, and it took me 27 years to even so. Because why do you like this song so much? That was the question. It's so slow, Cole. You're doing a blues album, and this song has been sent to you, and you want to do it. And I'm saying, well, yeah, but it's a personal thing, for God's sake. It's a personal thing. I just love this song. It says a lot of stuff. And then, of course, Rotary heard it, and they were doing their Violence-Free Families campaign or gig, and they asked Danny if they could use it as like the song for Violence-Free Families. And then the next thing, of course, you're out there talking about it. No, I got no relief from talking about it. I sort of moved on after I had that man deported from Australia, and just got on with doing what I do. And that's just surviving, just getting through life. No one wants to know bad stuff, but a lot of people want to know how did you get out of it? How did you get? Well, I didn't sink low enough, and get bruised enough, and cut enough to let it. I was in show business, for God's sake, the toughest frigging business in the world, and I can handle bruises. In fact, maybe sometimes bruises that I can see are better than the mental pressure that the business can put on you. A bruise will heal, but when you're scarred in the mind, that's when it becomes a totally different thing, and that's where a lot of women and men are also abused. I think it's about 50-50 on that scale. Women can be naggers, and you promised me this, you never did this, and we don't go anywhere. It's all pressure. I didn't have that. I was coping with a couple of children on my own, and with the help of Danny, of course, getting me to work. So I had a lot of distractions, and I wasn't going to go down any drain from a guy that just thought he was, had the right to do that stuff. And of course, I was living in Fiji at the time. He was a Frenchman, and in those days, in the mid-'80s, there was only one flight in and one flight out a week. So by the time you've had one bash, it was all better. Everybody, oh, no, he wouldn't do that again. Bang, So, it was no big relief. In fact, I sort of really, since talking about it, and people do want to talk about it because they find it interesting, that someone, in my situation would put themselves in that. You don't put yourself into a situation. Things just happen.
Yeah.
And, he was in a high-pressure job, and I guess, food and beverage manager, he had to drink quite a bit, testing new wines from all over the world, whatever. And, of course, then I would cop it. But anyway, it's been onwards and upwards. I have 3 amazing kids. That are just my mates as well, and now my daughter has made me this grandmother that I've been craving for years, but none of them were breeding, none of them were, they just went off to America, and she was doing a course over there and met this fabulous guy. Bang, they got married. Bang, we're pregnant. Yay! I just want to cuddle. I just want to cuddle little Daisy. I just, I've seen lots and lots of photos of her. We've Skyped and, FaceTimed, all that sort of stuff. So, I just want to hold her. I just want to smell her face. I just want to, feel her hair and stuff like that. Yeah. Just all that grandmotherly stuff, I guess.
Yeah, they're the good times.
Oh yeah.
Hey, tell us about life in Fiji. What is it in particular about the lifestyle over there that really agrees with you?
Well, I think that's just it. It's just the lifestyle. It's like, it's the air. It's clean. It's the people are just so gorgeous. It's made up of mainly Fijian and Indians. The Indians being there for like 5 or 6 generations. Where I am down on the Coral Coast, so that's between Nandi and Suva. So if anyone knows the Shangri-La Fijian Resort, that's where I used to get most of my hidings. Yeah, I got a place just opposite there, so on a hill, and I looked down over at the Shangri-La Fijian Resort on the Coral Coast. It's just quiet. I don't get hassled. Not that being asked, are you Colleen Hewett, or did you used to be Colleen Hewitt? It's not that stuff. It's gentle. It's just really nice. And I've had the house, 22 years now. So, yeah, and built it, so a lot of my good friends are over there. I had a lot of lovely friends in this country too. But, if I can just switch it from there to here, I couldn't do it permanently over there. I was there for Cyclone Winston last February. That was a little bit scary. But, of course, that was the 11th cyclone that I'd had over there. So, but this one was going to be the big one. This was Category 5, so that was an experience. There's always something going on in Fiji lately,
Yeah.
They had an earthquake not far from Nandi the other day. And
that's right, yeah.
The threat of a tsunami and all this business, but that didn't happen. It was cancelled. And, yeah, there's always something that, anyone listening that want to go to Fiji, don't go between November and the beginning of April. That is the wet season, and that is generally when cyclones are hanging around. But then again, you can have 5 years with nothing, just lots of rain, but that's it. It's the same if you go up to Darwin,
Yeah, or 4 seasons in one day here in Melbourne.
Oh, yeah. Well, as I was saying to you earlier, it was 42 yesterday here in Bendigo, and today, or this morning at 8 o'clock, it was 24, so exactly reverse. But, it sort of looks very grey. Love it to rain. I don't think it's going to, though. I think it's forgotten up here. It's weird, though, how it rains mainly in the cities and not in the country where it's so needed.
Where it's needed, exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. But anyhow, I really enjoyed talking to you, John.
Thank you. Before I let you go, I did promise Danny before I let you go that we've got to mention your show with Normie coming up in a few weeks at Palms.
That's the 18th of February. Yeah, Normie's always great to work with. He is so committed, sings so well, and works hard, at his craft, knows thousands of songs, and if he could get the chance, he would sing them all.
Yeah.
But we'll do a few songs together as well, I'm looking forward to that one. And my band will be there. He brings in a couple of members as well. So, 18th of February at the Palms at Crown.
So just like as you mentioned before with the Go Show concerts, it must be fantastic being able to share the stage with your contemporaries like that.
Oh, it's so lovely. And, there is a downside to it, but then again, if I was, a local librarian and stuff, I'll see patrons, that normally come in for their regular books drop off, and then you find out that they've passed. We're all in that age group now. Well, you don't even have to be in an age group anymore, when innocent babies are born and don't survive children, you can die in many others. Not only old age that will get you in the end, but we're just enjoying doing what we're doing. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. We love it. Love it.
And we hope you continue to do so for a long time. Hey, Colleen, thanks so much for your time. You've been an absolute joy to speak to.
Oh, great. Thank you. Sorry, you just edit anything out that you think, oh, God, she walks on a lot. I give nice long answers so you can just edit.
No, I love a bit of waffle. That's fine.
Good on you. Excellent, John. Thank you
Colleen.
so much. You've got my number. Don't lose it.
I won't. All the best.
Okay. Thanks, John. Happy
Cheers.
New Year.
And to you. Cheers.
Bye.